To locate the front boundary of the property, it's a matter of measuring from the corner of the house where we started perpendicular to this boundary on the right hand side. You would of course have that written on your mud map, but this will give you a little bit of extra practice. So we'll use the toolbar icon for distance. We'll say distance, but this time we'll come down here into the left hand toolbar and snap to endpoint. So you click it and move back, and you'll find then that the cursor will just jump to that corner and give you a little orange-brown locator. So we accept it. We don't have to put the cursor right on the corner. It will jump to the corner. And then we can move to the boundary, and what I'd like you to practice is right-click at that point. Sorry, that failed. Let me try that again. Pick the tool, go here, and get that corner. And rather than right-click, it might be easier if we come down here and find the perpendicular, snap perpendicular. So there's our distance, 33.6 is our distance. So I'll escape from there and come back, zoom out a little and come back here. So we need to offset this line 33.6. So it's modify, offset, pick this line here, indicate a through point, or right click and click on distance and type 33.6 feet and OK it. Now pick here on the left, and gCADPlus will offset the line the correct distance. We also have a front boundary in here, and we can use the same technique. So let's measure distance from the end of that line there, perpendicular to, I'll zoom in on the fence so that we get it. It's finding a strange perpendicular point. Oh no, that's right. Perpendicular to, as long as that little icon shows, we'll get it. So it's 25.6. Not drawing any lines here, we're just measuring. So at that point we can come back and we can say modify, offset. We're going to offset. Now I can't remember. Let me hit escape. I'll come back over here. I need to measure that again. We measured from that point there to the fence. I think I'll just double check distance. It's a good habit, double check anyway, from that corner perpendicular to the fence, 25.6. So now we can offset this line here. So it's modify, offset that line in this direction. So we right click and take through point, then come back and pick 25.6 and OK it and click. That will offset the line there. So that gives us our boundary line and our front, that's our chain fence if you like, and the actual boundary. What we then have to do is to offset the side of the house to meet the side boundary. So again we check distance from, we'll come down here and grab end point of that one to the, we can go end point again, end point of that one there, 8.11, 8.1. So modify, offset, pick the line we want to offset, right click, deselect distance by clicking on through point, right click again, and I keep forgetting 8.6 I think it was, and we do that, and now we've offset that boundary. Again I'm just going to check that distance. Can I select that line and measure it? No, I can't. So it's distance from the end of that one to the end of that one. Oops. It was 8.1, and I'm not so sure that I did 8.1. So I'll erase that, modify, offset this one here, right click, distance was 8.6. I need to change that to 8.1 and OK it. Now we have a line offset from there. We can use the same trick as we had used before. Modify, fillet, pick that line and that line. That squares off the boundary. So now we've got that line through there. We can get this line through to there quite easily, and I'll run through those new commands, but that gives you enough to do, I think, at the moment, to get some of those offset lines in, because experimenting with that offset tool is well worthwhile. You do need to practice it. It's not that intuitive.